Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss about refraction through lens. In previous class we discussed that refraction at spherical surface. Now we are going to discuss about refraction through lens. So before that we have to know what do you mean by lens. Lens is nothing but it is a piece of transparent material with two refracting surfaces such that at least one surface is curved. At least minimum one surface should be curved here. Okay, what is lens here? It is a piece of transparent material. What is the example for transparent material? For example, glass. It is a piece of transparent material with two refracting surfaces. Such that at least one surface is curved. Okay, and the refractive index of the material of the lens is different from refractive index of the surrounding medium. Okay, so the refractive index of the material of the lens, for example, material of the lens is glass. Lens is made up of glass. Now material of the lens is glass. Now the refractive index of the glass is different from refractive index of the surrounding medium. Supposed to be the surrounding medium is air, then the refractive index of lens is greater than this refractive index of the surrounding medium, that is air. Next, there are two types of lenses. What are those? First one, convex lens. Second one, concave lens. So while reading the books we are going to use the lens. So which type of lens we are going to use? That is convex lens, to get the magnified images of the small objects. Then let us discuss what do you mean by convex lens. Convex lens is that it is a lens which is thick at the middle, thin at the edges. First one, convex lens. What is convex lens here? It is a lens. which is thicker at the middle. And thin at the edges. Or corners. Now let us draw the diagram for convex lens. It is a convex lens which is thick at the middle and thin at the edges or corners. This lens is called convex lens. Okay. Again, there are some types of convex lens. What are those? That is biconvex lens, equiconvex lens, and planoconvex lens. What is biconvex lens here? So it is a convex lens with two refracting surfaces. They are curved, and these two curved surfaces having different radii of curvature. See, how many curved surfaces are there? Both surfaces are curved here. That is why it is called biconvex lens, because two surfaces are curved. Means it is called biconvex lens. But here the two curved surfaces having different radii of curvature. They are not equal. Means I will take it is R1 and it is R2. Here R1 is not equal to R2. Both curved surfaces having different radii of curvature. This type of convex lens is called biconvex lens. Next, equiconvex lens. What is equiconvex lens now? Equiconvex lens is that it is the lens, it is the convex lens. The curved surfaces of the lens having same radii of curvature. Both having same radii of curvature. This surface having the radius of curvature R1 and this surface having the radius of curvature R2. Then here R1 is equal to R2. Then this type of convex lens is called equiconvex lens. Why it is called equiconvex lens here? The two curved surfaces of convex lens having the same radii of curvature. Equiconvex lens. And one more is there. What is that? Planoconvex. Planoconvex is that here it is a convex lens whose one surface is curved and another surface is plane. What is planoconvex lens? It is a convex lens whose one surface is curved and another surface is plane. See, one surface is curved and another surface is plane. It is called planoconvex lens. Then, what is the radius of curvature of this plane surface? That is infinity. I will take it is R2. R2 is equal to infinity. But what is the radius of curvature of this curved surface? That is R. Okay, that is not equal to infinity because it is a curved surface. Then there are how many types of convex lens? 3 types of convex lens. What are those? Biconvex lens, equiconvex lens, and also planoconvex lens. Now, let us discuss the second type of lens. What is second type of lens? That is concave lens. Convex lens is sometimes it is called converging lens because whenever light falls on the convex lens, after refraction, the refracted rays converges at a point. That is why convex lens is also called as converging lens. Next, second type of lens. What is second type of lens? Second type of lens is concave lens. I hope you will define the concave lens. It is a lens which is thin at the middle, thicker at the edges. Second one, concave lens. What is concave lens? It is a lens which is thin at the middle, thicker at the edges. It is a lens which is thin at the middle, middle part is thin at the middle and thicker at the edges. Now let us draw the diagram for concave lens. See. It is the diagram for the concave lens. Okay. Then again we are going to take some types of concave lens here. What are those? Biconcave lens, equiconcave lens, and planoconcave lens. What is biconcave lens here? It is a concave lens. The curved surfaces having different radii of curvature. The curved surfaces having different radii of curvature. See here. It is one surface. And it is another surface. Okay. So both having different radii of curvature. So if both curved surfaces having same radii of curvature, that lens is called equiconcave lens. Then next, what is planoconcave lens? Here it is a concave lens whose one surface is curved and another surface is plane. So it is, I will take it is a biconcave lens. Next, planoconcave lens. What is planoconcave lens? The lens having means the curved surfaces of the concave lens having same radii of curvature. It is called equiconcave lens. Then what is planoconcave lens? It is a concave lens whose one surface is spherical and another surface is plane. It is called plano-concave lens. Okay, remember this. It is a biconcave lens, it is a equiconcave lens, and it is a plano-concave lens. Now let us discuss some terms related to the lens. Now let us discuss some important terms related to lens. What are those important terms now? First term, that is optic center. Optic center is also called pole, and optic center is denoted by O, and this point is inside the lens. Then what is optic center? So it is a point for given lens through which light passes without any deviation. What is optic center? It is a point for the given lens, whether it is convex or concave. It is a point for the given lens, through which the light passes without deviation. The light passes without deviation. Without deviation means without bending. It passes straight. See, for example, I will take convex lens. It is a convex lens. There is a point inside the convex lens. So whenever we are going to send the light through this point now, the light passes without any deviation. This point for the given lens is called optic center, and it is denoted by O. And for the concave lens means it is thin at the middle and thick at the edges. Okay. Then let us take the point inside the lens now. Whenever we are going to send the light through this point, the light passes without deviation, because here the emergent ray and the extended incident ray both are parallel to each other and they are very close to each other. When they are very close to each other, then emergent ray and incident ray both are coincide. Then the light appears to be passes without any deviation whenever the light passing through the optic center of the given lens. And if the lens having two curved surfaces, that means that curved surfaces having two centers of curvatures and two radii of curvature. See here, for the convex lens and for the concave lens, there are how many curved surfaces here? Here two curved surfaces, here also two curved surfaces. Now by using this concept, we are going to define the principal axis. Second one, principal axis. What is principal axis? It is the line passing through. It is the line passing through. It is the line passing through the optic center and centers of curvature of two curved surfaces. Centers of curvature of two curved surfaces. Two curved surfaces of the lens, whether it may be convex lens or concave lens. What is the principal axis here? It is the line passing through the optic center and the centers of curvature of two curved surfaces of the lens. See here, it is convex lens, and this convex lens having how many curved surfaces here? Both surfaces are curved here. Both surfaces are curved means the central curvature of the first surface, it is C1. Already we know that. If the curved surface like this now, the center of curvature is here. Okay, it is at the right side. The center of curvature of the curved surface is at the right side. Then what is the center of curvature of the second surface? That is at the left side. Then it is C2, and it is optic center of the lens. The line joining the or the line passing through the optic center and centers of curvature of the two curved surfaces of the lens is called principal axis. It is called principal axis. It is in case of convex lens. In case of concave lens, if it has two centers of curvature, then it has two radii of curvature. Radius of curvature of the first surface is R1, that is at right side, and radius of curvature of the second surface is R2, that is at left side. Next we are going to take concave lens. And what is the center of curvature of the first curved surface here? The center of curvature of the first curved surface is at left side, and the center of curvature of the second surface is at right side. And here it is of optic center, that is O. The line passing through the optic center, centers of curvature of the two curved surfaces of the lens is called principal axis. Again it is called principal axis. Principal axis. Now, and also the two curved surfaces having two radii of curvature. Radius of curvature of first curved surface is R1. Radius of curvature of second curved surface is R2. Okay. So once again, what is lens? Lens is nothing but it is a piece of transparent material having two curved surfaces or at least one curved surface. Next, the term that is very important, that is principal focus. Third one, that is principal focus. So already we defined principal focus in case of spherical mirrors. Now we are going to discuss the principal focus in case of lens. In case of lens, refraction of light takes place because both surfaces are refracting surfaces. Means both are refracting surfaces means both are transparent. Now let us consider what is a principal focus. When a narrow parallel beam of light parallel and close to the principal axis, parallel and close to the, here narrow parallel beam of light means here the light rays are parallel to each other, and this narrow parallel beam of light is parallel and close to the principal axis, close to the principal axis, is incident on a lens, whether it is convex or concave, is incident on a lens after refraction. So which phenomenon takes place here? Refraction takes place because a lens is a transparent material. Okay. After refraction, the rays, which rays? Refracted rays. The rays converges at a point or meet at a point. Converges at a point. It is in case of which lens? It is in case of convex lens. In case of convex lens. Or appears to be diverged from a point. Means the refracted rays appears to be diverged from a point. Or appears to be diverged from a point. In case of concave lens. This point on the principal axis is called principal focus. This point on the principal axis is called principal focus. Principal focus is denoted by F. Then which lens having real focus and which lens having virtual focus? Convex lens having real focus, concave lens having virtual focus. Let us draw the ray diagram for this one. For the definition of principal focus. Now let us consider it is a convex lens. Then principal axis. What is principal axis? It is the line passing through the optic center, through the optic center and also centers of curvature of both curved surfaces. Now, whenever a parallel beam of light means here the light rays are parallel to each other and parallel line close to the principal axis. These parallel rays are parallel line close to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted rays meet at a point or converges at a point. This point is called principal focus. So, then convex lens having real focus, because here after refraction all the refracted rays converges at a point at the right side of the lens. Convex lens has real focus because after refraction all the rays converges at a point. That is why it has a real focus. Then in case of concave lens, it is a concave lens. And again we are going to draw the principal axis. Then if a narrow parallel beam of light, parallel and close to the principal axis, parallel and close to the principal axis is incident on which lens here? It is concave lens. After refraction the rays are divergent. In case of concave lens. In case of concave lens, after refraction the refracted rays are divergent. But in case of convex lens, the refracted rays are converged. And these refracted rays appears to be diverged from a point. Appears to be diverged from a point. They are not actually diverged from this point. They appears to be diverged from this point. Now here, focus is at the side of the object. Then it has virtual focus. Okay. So concave lens has virtual focus. Next, focal length. What is focal length? See here, for a given lens there are two foci. One is at the image side, another side is at the object side. Okay, there are how many foci here? Two foci for the lens, because one is at the side of image, another focus is at the side of object. Otherwise, I will take object this side and the image will be formed this side. That means there are how many foci? Two foci. Those foci are called conjugate foci. Then focal length, that is fourth one. What is focal length? It is the distance between optic center and principal focus. It is the distance between principal focus and optic center of the lens. lens. What is focal length now? Focal length is the distance between principal focus and optic center. It is the distance between principal focus and optic center. That is focal length. Then here also, what is the focal length here? Distance between principal focus and optic center. But here the focal length of the convex lens is positive by using this sign convention, because here the principal focus is at right side, means it is along the positive x-axis. Let us take optic center as origin. This side can be taken as positive x-axis and this side can be taken as negative x-axis. But here the principal focus is on which x-axis? That is positive x-axis. That is why focal length of the convex lens is positive and focal length of the concave lens is negative. What is the focal length of convex lens? By using sign convention. Focal length of the convex lens is positive and the focal length of the concave lens is negative. Lens is negative. Then next we are going to discuss about focal plane. What is focal plane here? It is the plane passing through the principal focus perpendicular to the principal axis. What is focal plane? It is the plane passing through the principal focus. It is a plane. This plane passing through the principal focus and perpendicular to the principal axis. It is called focal plane. Once again, what is focal plane? It is the plane which is passing through the principal focus and perpendicular to the principal axis is called focal plane. Now, let us assume this is a point now. It is a principal focus. I will pass the plane. How this plane is passed here? This plane is passed through the principal focus and perpendicular to the principal axis. This plane is called focal plane. Okay. These are some very important terms related to the lens. Now, formation of images by convex lens. Now, we discussed about the formation of images by concave mirror and convex mirror. Now, we are going to discuss about the formation of images by convex lens. We have to consider several incident rays to get the position of the image. What are those incident rays here? One incident ray must be parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. What is the first incident ray? The first incident ray parallel to the principal axis. After refraction by the lens, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. Then the second incident ray which is passing through the optic center, that passes without deviation. And one more incident ray, the incident ray which is passing through the first principal focus falls on the lens. After refraction, the refracted ray passes parallel to the principal axis. See here, it is a convex lens. Now it is optic center, that is O, and now it is principal axis. So how many rays we have to consider to get the image of the object? At least we have to consider 2 rays, minimum 2 rays. I will consider three rays now. First ray, that is parallel to the principal axis. The lens having how many foci? 2 foci. One is at the object side, another is at the image side. Then both foci are equidistant from the optic center. Now, after refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. It is first incident ray. If the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, after refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. Then, the second incident ray that is passing through the optic center that passes without any deviation. It passes without any deviation. And the third incident ray, which is passing through the first principal focus and falls on the lens. After refraction, the refracted ray passes parallel to the principal axis. Okay, it is first incident ray, and it is second incident ray, and it is third incident ray. So the first incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. The second incident ray, that is passing through the optic center, that passes without any deviation. Then the third incident ray, which is passing through the principal focus. Which principal focus? First principal focus, and falls on the lens. After refraction, the refracted ray passes parallel to the principal axis. So these three rays are required to get the image of the object. Now let us discuss one by one. First one, when an object is at infinity, the rays coming from the object, that object is at infinity, they are parallel to the principal axis. When an object is at infinity, what is the position of the image of the object, what is the nature of the image of the object, and what is the size of the image of the object we have to find by using the ray diagram. So we are going to discuss about now the formation of image by which lens? The formation of image by convex lens. Now let us consider it is a convex lens. So while drawing the ray diagram, take the proper measurements. Then only we will get the exact position of the image, exact nature of the image, and exact size of the image. Then it is the principal axis, and it is optic center, that is O. Now let us consider where is the object now? Object is at infinity. The rays coming from the object which is at infinity, they are parallel to the principal axis. For example, the light rays coming from the sun near to the surface of the earth, they are parallel to each other. Then these are the rays which are coming from the object which is at infinity. After refraction, all the refracted rays, if the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, after refraction the refracted ray will be meet at focus. Which focus? Second principal focus. Here the image of the object is formed. Now where is the object? Object is at infinity. Where its image is formed? Its image is formed at second principal focus or principal focus of the lens. Then it is a first principal focus. Then what is the position of the image of the object? Position of the image. Position of the image is at focus, at F. Next, what is the nature of the image? Nature of the image is real and inverted. Why it is real and inverted? Because this image is formed due to convergence. This image is formed due to convergence of light, not divergence of light. That is why it is real and inverted. If the image is real and this is a inverted, real image means here we can obtain this image on the screen. Okay, that is called real and inverted. What is size of the image? Size of the image is highly diminished, very small in size. Compared to the size of the object, size of the image is very, very small. That is why it is called highly diminished. Highly diminished. Okay, it is the first case. What is second case now? Now I will bring the object from infinity to beyond 2n. Beyond 2n. Second case. When object is beyond 2n. When object object is beyond 2F. So again ray diagram. Principal axis. Then there are how many foci? 2 foci. Yep. And this is also F. Both are equidistant from the optic center. And it is 2F. And this side it is 2F. Where is the object now? Object is beyond 2F. Then now let us take some incident rays. First incident ray, that is parallel to the principal axis. After refraction by the lens, the refracted ray passes through the principal focus. Then the second incident ray that passes through the optic center, that passes without any deviation. So where these refracted rays will be meet, at that position you will get the image of the object. Where the refracted rays meet here, the refracted rays meet in between F and 2F. Now you will get the image of the object here. So the refracted rays meet downside, means the head of the image of the object is down. The head of the image of the object is down. Now image is set to be inverted, and it is real because we can obtain this image on the screen while doing experiment to find the focal length of the convex lens. We will observe all those things. So minimum how many rays required to get the image of the object here? Minimum 2 rays. Then what is the position of the image? Position of the image is between F and 2F. Between F and 2F. Okay, see here, F is at a distance of 2 cm supposed to be. 2F is at a distance of 4 cm. Okay, because 2FO is 2 times of FO. Okay. Then next, what is the nature of the image? Nature of the image. Nature of the image is real and inverted. Real and inverted. And last one, size of the image. Compared to the size of the object, size of the image is small. That is why it is called diminished. Only diminished, but not highly diminished. Because compared to the size of the object, size of the image of the object is small. Size of the image is said to be diminished. Okay, it is a second case. Now let us discuss what about third case. Now where is the object? Object beyond 2F. Now I will bring the object at 2F. At 2F. So now what is the diagram for that? Third one. Then the object is at 2F. Now let us draw the ray diagram to get the position of the image, nature of the image and size of the image. Be careful while drawing the ray diagram, take the accurate measurements, then only we will get the exact position of the image and exact nature of the image and exact size of the image. Optic center F and it is F. This side 2F. This side it is also 2F. Okay. Where is the object now? Object is at 2F. Then the first incident ray. Which is first incident ray? The incident ray parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. Then the second incident ray which is passing through the optic center, that passes without any deviation. Where the image is found here, image is found at 2F. Take the accurate measurements, you will get the exact position of the image. Okay. So now the size of the object and the size of the image of the object both are same. Then what is the position of the image here? The position of the image is at 2F. Position of the image is at 2F. Then next, what is the nature? Nature of the image is again realigned, inverted, because we can obtain this image on the screen. Realigned, inverted. And last one, what is size? Size of the image is equal to size of the object. That is equal to size of the object. Size of the image is equal to size of the object when the object is placed at 2F. Okay. Then next, I will bring the object in between 2F and F. Then where its image will be found? Number 2. Once again, I am telling, while drawing the ray diagram, take the accurate measurements. When the object between 2F and F, then where its image will be found. I will place object here. Then where its image will be found. First incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. Then the second incident ray which is passing through the optic center, that passes without any deviation. Without any deviation. Where its image is found? Here. It is 2F now. This point is 2F. Where its image is found? Beyond 2F. So compared to the size of the object, the size of the image is large. See here, I will take it is size of the object. Now it is size of the image. Means size of the image is enlarged. Then what is the position of the image? Image is found beyond 2F. It is 2F now. It is beyond 2F. Then what is the nature of the image? Again realigned, inverted, because it is inverted only, and we can obtain this image on the screen. That is why it is realigned, inverted. And what is the size of the image? That is magnified. Compared to the size of the object, size of the image is large. That is why it is said to be magnified. Magnified. Okay. So this now fifth case, that is when object is at F. When object is at F. Now let us consider once again convex lens, because we are going to discuss about the image formation by convex lens. There are two foci for the given lens, F5 and F2. Now, where is the object now? Object is at focus only. First incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. And one more incident ray that is passing through the optic center, that passes without any deviation. Here, the refracted rays are parallel to each other, means they will be meet, but if they will be meet at infinite. If they will be meet at infinite distance. What is the position of the image? Position of the image is at infinity. If they will be meet at very large distance. Okay, because the parallel rays will be meet at a very large distance. That large distance can be taken as infinity. Then what is the nature? Nature of the image is real and inverted, because the refracted rays are downside here. Real and inverted. Last one, size. It is highly magnified. If they will be meet at a large distance, means if they will be meet at infinity, the size is very increased. Size of the image is very increased. That is why it is called highly magnified. Highly magnified. Highly magnified. Then next one, last case, that is sixth one. I will bring object in between F and O. O means an optic center. When the object is between F and O. It is O, F, and this side also N. Okay, where is the object now? In between F and O. Then first incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, the refracted ray passes through the second principal focus. Then the second incident ray passing through the optic center, that passes without deviation. Here, these two rays are divergent. They never be converged. These two rays are divergent. These two divergent rays appears to be came from a point beyond the object. I will extend these two. And where these two extended rays will be meet, at that position image of the object is formed. So where the image of the object is formed, that is beyond the object. Otherwise, the image of the object is formed at the side of the object. Next, position of the image. Position of the image, that is beyond the object. Next, what is nature? See here, we couldn't obtain this image on the screen. If we couldn't obtain this image on the screen, then it is said to be virtual. And it is erect. Why it is called erect here? If object is upside, then its image also upside, then image is said to be erect. Virtual and erect. And last one, size. Size of the image is greater than size of the object. That is why it is said to be magnified. So this principle is used in simple microscope. This principle is used in simple microscope. We will study about once again this one in simple microscope concept.